And hello, dear friends. Welcome to the first episode of Zest for Life. And here we are with my dear friend, with our dear friend Maria, who has been involved with so many things in her life. And of course, especially becoming a master, this is a huge, huge thing. And also has helped so many other people on their journey with support, with organizing all sorts of different workshops. And that's in addition to also being an engineer, right? In your architect in your normal life. I think it's the translation is a little bit, is a translation, isn't it? So engineer of architecture. So there you go.
Yes. Okay.
And so for dear Maria, it is the first time. So we are the Zest for Life. It is the aim is to celebrate the people that have done so much work, the people that have done so much work, not only on themselves, with what they have, experienced in their life, but also helped others, on their journey, and they continue to do. There's been just such a huge journey with all of this. And I was just, remembering this morning as I was contemplating, as I was thinking about our meeting today, Maria, just how many different things we've experienced, like especially those ones that are a little bit mature in our years, like if you think about how many changes, like starting, I've started from in Slovenia, it was communism, it was one country, Yugoslavia, then all the borders changed, the money changed, I've sort of moved to another side of the globe. We've seen all sorts of things. Like when I started, my grandparents still had that radio where when you switched it on, it had a diode that had to warm itself up first before it started playing. That was before even tape recorders. When the tape recorders happened, I thought we were in heaven, and then we lived through CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays, and now it's MP3s, and now it's going to be AI. We've lived through it all. And this is all just, we're not even 100 years old yet, So it's amazing all of the things that we've experienced in our lifetime. And we keep experiencing now with Heaven Cross behind us just last week. And, like yesterday we had huge solar flares. Like I was just doing the thing, and all of a sudden I started feeling dizzy and I had to lay down, and there was this huge download. And this morning, like this whole new energy. So, it's you have to just keep flowing, because otherwise you just get stuck and you get cranky and everything stops, like when I went to the market this morning, because I wasn't so aware, I was in a rush, and all of a sudden everywhere I was, there was like a stop, someone just drove in front of me, or someone just went into some line before me or something like that, until I stopped and said, no, I have to flow the energy. So it's so important to just be in the now moment, to just be that open flow, even if it is extremely intense, but we just continually need to flow, need the energy stream to happen, need to be present, and we need enormous amount of humor. So that's me done with the talking, dear Maria. So now over to you.
What do you want me to tell you?
So first, let me perhaps tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Yes, about my story is a typical Srsa story. Just a minute. It is a typical Srsa story. On the way to ascension, I lost everything, as most of us. First, I started with the loss of my father at the age of 7. It was a big loss. After, I lost my mother in a way, because I couldn't see her every day, because after my father's death, she put me and my sister in an internal girls' school, for 10 years, from 7 to 17. So I couldn't see her only once a month. That's why the second loss. And after, it was many losses. I lost many friends. I lost all my money in my company. I lost my center. I had an alternative healing center in Athens. And I lost all my money in this center. After I lost my family, I had a divorce, a difficult. So many losses, many losses, but the common pattern was the same story, the same pattern was betrayal and deception. Again and again, in my friends, betrayal, in my colleagues, betrayal, in my work, in my job, betrayal and deception. So it was the pattern of the victim, as you know. So at one point, I said to myself, no more victim, no more betrayal and deception. I stopped here and I changed the story. So I changed my story, as Adam says in the last channels, to change your story and to see, to look at your story as a master, not as a victim, poor me. So I looked at my story and I changed it to a master story, because I had a contract with my father to leave early. So it was my contract, my creation, not I wasn't a victim. So the second, I was in an internal school because it was a protective space for me at this very tender age of 7 years. And in this internal school, I had an extra education because I learned the music, I learned painting, I learned how to play in movies. I learned many things, extra knowledge from the other children. They were at the public school. So I changed my story. I was not a victim inside this school. I was the creator. And after, I saw different also my marriage and my divorce, because it was painful, but I changed it, that it was my story and my creation, because I released my old karmic contract with my ex-husband and my ex-partner. So now I am free, and I'm grateful to him because he made room for me, large room after the divorce. So I had the time and the opportunity to grow, to flourish, to travel, to do anything I wanted by myself. I didn't want anyone outside of me. And I was taking my strength a little by little. So I changed my story from loss to abundance, from pain to joy, and from poor me to creator, and to creator, and to I am a creator, and I created all this journey for me. So now I'm very happy because I am free. I'm free to go. I say to my friends, I'm free to go. I left behind all the stories, the old fat story, as Adam says, and now free to go. And I'm very happy because every morning I have to choose for me, and I say to myself, oh, darling, what do you want to do today? To go for a walk, to cook, to do computer, do internet, to do work at the garden. And I chose anything I want at the moment. So I feel happy because I'm totally free. I don't have anyone outside of me to control my life or my actions, nothing. So I am at this point that now I am like a blank page, because I have completed and my seminars and all the work I did before. And now I am like a blank page, and I will see what I will put in this page again, as a creator this time, not as a victim, as you see. And this is my story in a very short version.
And all of your periods have been quite extensive, haven't they? Like, when you were an architect, so that was 15 years, and you were doing SES classes for 15 years as well. That's a big chunk.
Yes, I was an architect for 30 years or so. After I had the alternative therapy center for 10 years, and I lost it. And after it completed, now I changed the story. I complete this period, and after I met the Grimson Circle in 2005, and the next year, 2006, I was in Colorado attending the Midsummer Conference. We had the initiation at the Order of the Ark. It was very touching ceremony. I was so excited and thrilled. And after the next year, I attend the SES, and the first time I hear the SES, I denied. I told myself, what is Tobias talking about? What is this? But after a while, after 6 months, I went to Holland, to Netherlands, to be a teacher for SES, to take the teacher training. And after we had 2008, the first gathering of Grimson Circle in Athens with Jeff and Linda, and I organized this, and they were very generous to me, and they offered me 2 teacher trainings for aspectology and a passion. So next year I went to Mallorca, and the other year to other, and I had 3 teacher trainings. So from 2009 until 2020, I gave SES and aspectology in Athens about 3 times per year.
Wow.
So you see, I know all the channels of SES by heart now. I know everything. I remember. Aspectology is more advanced. Yes,
but SES is just such a not poignant, but such an important for everyone on this journey, isn't it? It's such an important experience, and such an important thing to realize. And like with that course, it makes it much easier and much quicker to get there, because I think like people, if they really, once they make that choice, they can kind of, all that cleansing and all this letting go of the energy feeding happens. But it's just such a quick way and such a powerful way to actually do it, isn't
powerful,
it?
quick way, and I think easy way, because the tools are very easy if you want to use it, you see. It saved my life, of course. And after that, I saw the world in different eyes. And the thing is, the important thing with the SES is that recently, the last SES I gave, I had many young people, you see, 23 years old, 25 years old. And I was amazed how easy they took the information, they received the information. They were ready, you see. I thought to myself, what is about so young people, how I can cope with them and with their energy. But they were teaching me. They were teaching me inside the seminars. They were my teachers and my, you see, they gave me so many information about the young people and their energy, and how they absorb the information and they transform the information. I am amazed with the young people. I admire all the young people, you see.
Me too. It's just this year that has happened for me too, like in my classes and private sessions and stuff. All of a sudden, I have people like 22 years old, 23, 24 years old.
You see,
that are so serious. And also like in my everyday kind of life, I sort of really involve myself with young people, with their music, with the technology. And this has been like, you've talked about how we've come to the end of this era where we have to like really be be this kind of either realm workers or where we have this job, because for so many of us, let's say, that are in a mature age, our life has been defined by this work. We didn't even consciously know it most of the time. But everything else was put on hold. That's how I feel. Like, so many things we had to put on hold. So my life didn't contain so many things that, let's say, a normal person's life contained, because so much was
real worker. Yes.
That's right. We were all this, we're this kind of workers. But now it's kind of like something has happened this year. And even though, like, I still do this kind of work, but it's just all of a sudden I'm free. It's like it's not my, all those things are not my work anymore, and I can just play. So I can just play with all those things that I love, with music, with dance, and I just go for it. And this young, and young people are just so full of energy, they so easily transform. And like you said, they
open to every knowledge. Yes,
and all these things that we've actually like had to kind of transform and fight, you know, to be free about your sexuality, to be free to speak, to be free to just be you, whomever you are, either you're a guy or a girl. And this is just now a reality for them. They don't have to think it. They just are. And there's so many things open for them, you know, with the internet, with what they want to do. There's no more those kind of rigid rules like what used to be.
They don't have the rules we had before at the past. But you were a real worker more than an earth worker, because you are a channeler also, I know that. But for me, I was more grounding the energy. I was an earth worker, and all the informations I had from Crimson Circle, from other paths before the Crimson Circle, I would like to ground the information and to give to the people as a practical tools to live their lives better, to improve themselves, to take their strength back, and to be free, to regain their freedom. Because I think for me, I was more grounded and not so much at the other realms. I was more an earth worker, and a real worker, but not so much. It was one third real worker and two thirds yes.
But still, there's so much that we had to transform, wasn't it? Like you're in Greece, and we're surrounded, and we grew up, we're surrounded by all these old cultures and all these ancestral things that had to be transformed.
Very so much rules. I like the old philosophy and the Greek philosophy, the ancient Greek philosophy, but for me it was a restriction, because I would like to free my mind from all these informations. Of course, Plato and Aristotle, and they were my teachers in the high school, but I would like something more. And I wanted something more, and I had the feeling that there is something more from these philosophers. For me, it is old now. For me, they are old. I don't, with all the respect to my roots, to my origins, for me it's old. Because when I first met Tobias, I told myself, this is me. I'm here. This is my house. This is my home. This is my myself. And from that day, I am about 20 years in Crimson City, from 2005, 19 years exactly. And I don't feel that I have to go somewhere else. I'm here. I found my place, and maybe I live this life from Crimson City. I have some remaining years in this lifetime, and I would like to live it to the fullest from now and then, without obligations, without restrictions, without to have something to keep me back. And I am in this place, in this level now. I would like to travel. I would like to meet my old friends, my old colleagues. We have a good connections. And of course, what the future brings, I'm open. I don't have an agenda. I am free to go. I don't have any agenda.
Yeah, and also it just also depends on what the not that we rely on what the humanity does, but so many things keep changing, don't they? Like with every day, like you wake up and I look at it, okay, I open the computer and say, okay, let's go on YouTube just to see some titles. What are people up to today?
And you asked me before if I have some funny things, funny events from my...
Yeah.
I have the most recent years I was with Crimson Circle, so I have funny things from my seminars and my travels from Crimson Circle. So if you want to tell you short one or two, the first was in Mallorca. We were about 100 people for teacher training for aspectology with Jeff and Linda. So the last day after the event, we got down to the dining room, to the restaurant, to have a dinner. And we saw Jeff and Linda sitting on a table with some other sobra. And Jeffrey told us, oh, come to join us. But Jeffrey told him, the table is so small. Okay, don't worry. I will ask the waiter, please, can we join these two tables, one on the left and the other on the right, to my table to have a bigger table? And the waiter told to Jeffrey, no, it's impossible. Es imposible, señor. It's impossible, sir. It's impossible. Why it's impossible? I think it's impossible. No, it's possible. Never do that. Never do that. And Jeffrey told us, guys, in the 3, 1, 2, 3, I will count until 3. Push these two tables all together to my table. 1, 2, 3. We push the two tables together to his table. We had a big table. And after he told to the waiter, you see, everything is possible. Not say no es possible. No es posible. So it was a funny thing. But I see that Jeffrey, if he wants something, he always finds a way to do it. He's very determined. And the other funny thing was in Athens with Srsa event for what was it was the intuition event in Athens in 2008, and they came 3 days before the event, Zest and Linda. So the second day after the relax, we went to see Acropolis. And on the way to Acropolis from our hotel, from the beach, we were speaking, we had discussion. And Jeffrey told me, Maria, your taxi driver is very polite. Can you imagine the other taxi drivers I have met in all the world, in all the countries? I told him, no, how they are, the other drivers. And he told me, I will tell you how they speak English, the Japanese, the Germans, the French, the Italians. And he started to mimic the taxi drivers, how they speak English, the Japanese. Senor, you see, he was so good actor and so precise to speak the English language from the perspective of the Japanese men and the Italian men, and we had a good laughing in this taxi route. You see, it was very funny, because if you see Jeff to pretend that he's an Italian taxi driver or a Japanese taxi driver, he's so fun, but it was good. Remember these two?
Yeah. So there's just
and
so
another
many...
one. Yes, and another small one in Kos Island, the last seminar with Srsa in 2018, the last in Kos Island. Jeff and Linda were swimming in their pool next to their rooms because it was isolated a little bit. But the last day, Jeffrey wanted to swim inside the sea. And he asked me, oh, Maria, I want to swim in the sea, but I'm afraid of sharks. Is there any shark here around? No, Jeffrey, here is Mediterranean Sea, Aegean Sea, no sharks. Is there any jellyfish? No jellyfish. Crabs? No crabs, no shrimps, no nothing. So the last day, we decided to go inside with other Sobra, and we had a lot of fun together to swim with Jeff and Lita all around him. It was a very good memory and very...
Yeah.
This
You
one
have
thing.
this beautiful warm... You have these beautiful warm memories, don't you? Like there's just so many things that, you know,
many
like
more with other Sobra friends,
yeah,
not only
yeah.
with Jeff and Lita, but this is the most funny, you see, the funniest.
Yeah. So maybe, who knows, maybe you will come to a place where you'll think, okay, maybe I will write like a book, a memoir, you know, to put all of these things down, because you're so good with remembering all the dates and all of the different, you know, events.
You see, good idea. I haven't thought about it. I haven't thought. Maybe, yeah.
Maybe that was a Damas kind of saying, you know, like...
Maybe, who knows? Yes, but I will write memories. A little enhanced and a little with the perspective of a master, not a poor me, perspective of a wise me. You see,
Yeah.
Now we are in another level.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And to get here, it was such a huge journey, because we didn't actually have anyone to, you know, look out to tell us. We had to kind of, well, it still is the same now, because, you know, we find, well, I find myself always at the front somewhere, not at the front before others, like as in better or worse, whatever, but always at the front of that energy work. And so there isn't really anything where someone can tell you, okay, you do this way, you do this, you know, there's no way to read any instructions. You just have to kind of dive into it, and then, oh, this works and this doesn't work. So you have to kind of always use this a lot of humor, you know, because some of the things don't work, because you know, we're trying how to transform this and how to find a way out of that, and how to transform all the different patterns. And now, like, I find that all of those things that we used to just talk about in this kind of, you know, more private groups like Schambra group, but now it's a very kind of general, like wherever you go, especially among the young people, you know, you can go and just be with someone, let's say in some art community, but this kind of knowledge that used to be very separate, it's already part of everyday life for them. They talk about it, they live it, and this was really kind of what the goal was, wasn't it? So that people, the new generations, don't even have to think about these things. So, but it's kind of like a still very divided world in this way, because you know, even though you have young people everywhere are like this, I find, you know, because I love to explore all of the different, like I go and find their programs, and I find music, it's really incredible. Like through music, I meet so many people in all the different countries, and then I can feel and hear and
it's
feel
a common language. Yes,
that's right, and their energy and stuff, and what's happening for them. And so it's kind of like a very different kind of perspective that you form, because you're touching people who live there, rather than, for example, let's say watching some boring news that someone that's never been to that country explaining and putting their own ideas and judgments and, you know, their own whatever's onto another place. But when you go right there, and like you said, the music and the arts, and it was it Tobias or Damas that told us, you know, the music and the arts are so important. And I find that it's not even like, that's right, and it's not even about like me having to do any art, or like art can be anything, like the way you cook, the way you do your garden, the way you keep your house, the way it's all art. But it's also, like you said, that language that doesn't really need that. You can feel the language of music, of painting, of photography, of you know, building, whatever it is that you're making. Like,
and I think that the new generation, the people of the new generation, they have many talents. They are multitasking people. As I was an architect and a therapist and everything. And my daughter is a photographer, he's an architect, he's a designer of furniture. Sorry, I had a cold. She's a designer. She's going hiking. She's going sailing. She has many talents, and she uses all her talents. And I saw that the young people, they need someone to join them, and they would like to join between them and between the oldest people. So I have to say that I have a friend astrologer, and she told me one day when she looked at my map, an astrology map, and she told me, "Oh, Maria, you have a main characteristic here. Your mission is to be like a people bridger, to connect the people." So I saw it in all my seminars that we had a very good connection in our sessions and in our events, and all the people left with a big smile. So it's okay, I have to use it. It's my characteristic to join people from different cultures, different countries, and I love the difference. I love the different people.
And it's so easy to see that in you, you know, and this kind of energy that, I don't know, it's hard to define, but even the first time, remember a couple of years ago when we kind of met on Zoom,
yes,
in this way,
that's
right, and I could feel that energy was so present, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I want to work with this woman one day.
Okay,
and here we are.
I said, you were so light and so joyful and so light energy, not heavy energy, very light.
Well, but this and this is what's come, you know, this is from our work, isn't it? Because like you said, you know, this journey, we weren't always like this. I used to be so heavy, so negative, and all into that depression and dark and all that I can see now. You know, so many people are trapped in that. And you really have to, you know, for me, it was always interesting to find out how to get out of those kind of situations. And of course, now we know how to get out of those kind of situations, but
yes,
you know, it's easy to forget, isn't it, what it's like at the same time? Because like you described your life, you wake up in the morning and you just keep choosing, you know, you choose what you want to do.
I choose every day. I don't have agenda. I don't, only the appointment for a dentist or a doctor or something like that. Today, I had only your appointment. After, I don't know what to do. I will sleep probably. I have my siesta. And this is another joke I had in Amersfoort in Netherlands. When I went to take the teacher training for SES, we had 1 hour and a half break for lunch. And I took my lunch and I went to my room to relax a little bit. And I fell asleep. And I wake up after half an hour or something like that. And I went to the room, and Jan Brouwer was our teacher at that time, and he told me, "Oh, Maria, this is not Greece. We don't have siesta here. We are Northern Europe. Please don't be late again." I was so embarrassed because every afternoon I have 1 hour siesta. I couldn't avoid it. So it's okay, but I don't have any agenda now. I have desires. I want to visit my friend in Ankara. I have a friend in Ankara, Sobra friend, Salgar, and I was about to travel last year, but this last summer, I lost my sister. It was a big loss for me, because we were twins and we were about more than 60 years together, and I was in a big sadness. But now, a little by little, I'm emerging from this morning, and I started to have dreams again, desires again, travel, desires to go out to the world and meet people. And that's why I accept your invitation, because you are the first after this sadness. Now I feel better, and a little by little, I accepted this human part of me, because we are humans. You see, we have human aspects. So this human aspect needed affection and embracing and acceptance. I stayed at sadness about 4 months. But I didn't fight the sadness. I went deep inside, and after a little by little, I went out. I got out.
It's a huge thing to lose someone. I had very similar journey like this.
Reconsider everything after my sister's death. I reconsider all my life, and I now have a better perspective for what it is valuable for me or not, for what I want to do than the rest of my years on earth or not. So I'm more, I have more clarity, and I have more consciousness about what is my life from now and next, and now and then.
And this thing, like you so beautifully described, you know, because being a master really isn't about abandoning human part, that this human part is actually even more, and you can then do things much more organically, naturally. Like you said, you know, when you lose someone, it's part of the human life to lose someone, and all that grief and sadness. Like I realized how grief and sadness, you know, how people actually take pills against that, you know, so they wouldn't feel. But in reality, these beautiful feelings, I found it's like an ocean, isn't it? Like you go with it, and within that you experience so much richness in relationship to you and that other person, and you just realize how much you loved. Like that's what that brings you.
And I accepted the situation, and also I acknowledged my human part. I acknowledge and I honor my human part. Not only the master, it's okay. He doesn't need to acknowledge the master. But sometimes I see many, my friends, sober or not sober, that they deny their human parts and their human part and their body and their desires. And they deny all of them, and they are only spiritual. You see, only spirituality. What spirituality is even to cook, even to take a walk, even to speak with someone, even to kiss someone and to give a smile. You see, this is spirituality, not only the words of the masters and the ascended masters. Spirituality is everything in this life. Excellent. That's why I always wanted to ground the information and to give to my students with practical ways. How do you accept yourself? How do you take care of yourself every day? How do you take your strength back? Describe me. So we had a very good seminars and workshops together in Greece for about 12 years. Now I have the cycle this completed, but you never know, maybe after some years, we'll do it again.
Oh, no, exactly. We're just open, and it's hard to even say, like, I find that I can't even really say for 1 year how I'm going to feel, because there's so many different things that are happening.
For the next day,
and even like, let's say, you know, like you have to keep asking yourself, like you've said, you know, because in this journey, I find I keep being pulled regularly to the very bottom, you know, into that, you can say, I am that I am, where you really are nothing and everything. And in that space, you really have to, it's like you die, isn't it? It's a feeling of dying. And in that space, I always then, when I come back, I come out again in myself. I have to then always ask myself, okay, so you come to very basic values, like what is important, like you said, what is important, what is not important. And with this kind of work, it has to be joy. I get asked all the time. I come to a point, I have to ask myself, am I doing this because it's joy, or am I doing because all of these other agendas have come up? And if they have, it's also important to acknowledge and then let them go. But it's just like this constantly, you come to the very basics.
I mean, it is joy. If we don't have joy, we have to do something.
Exactly.
For
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
for being famous, for what to do this if there is no joy? And of course,
Yeah.
freedom. Freedom is my first word. Freedom. Free to go. Freedom.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Free to go.
Yeah.
We leave behind everything. We are free
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
Anywhere we want.
And with this work now, it is possible to be like that, you know, because, like, for example, unless you have someone that depends on you in this way, that you have someone employed or someone, you know, like you can say, okay, in 1 month I finish because it's no more joy. I can, and even that, to have that option always there.
Yes.
Then it makes me very fulfilled to be doing it, because I know I'm kind of doing it from joy, you know, because I always can, you know, stop doing it, because we can't, like, we as, you know, as Shambra, as masters, we can't do anything out of being obligated or not free. It's got to be that free choice.
We are intolerant.
Yeah.
In our language,
Yeah. Yeah.
We are intolerant masters.
We are. Exactly.
We are intolerant masters.
We're intolerant masters, not bastards, right? Although sometimes, you know.
But sometimes, for me, it is not for you, for the others. Sometimes I didn't put my boundaries, so I was not intolerant. But from now and then, I am intolerant. So everybody knows that I'm intolerant. Now, from now and then. You see, that's why, if I say about relationships, that's why I'm not in a relationship with someone now. It is something personal, but I say to you, because after my divorce, I would like to find myself, my needs, my desires, to have room for me, to have space for me. And now I'm grateful to my ex-husband that he left. He left. It was an agreement that he left me space. You see, I don't see like a painful event as it was at that time. So I feel now that if I had someone, it will be a burden for me, unless he accepts that we'll have no commitment between us and we have freedom. I don't like commitments and burdens and less of freedom. If I find someone to be so free as me, and without any burdens and commitments and rules and restrictions and something like that, maybe we walk together or dance together. But if not, I'm okay.
Well, when you're satisfied within yourself and within you, when you feel whole,
I'm very satisfied,
you know,
but now. Then
you can do that. Like, you can be alone, you can be single, you can be with someone. But I've been exploring this, you know, all these different kind of relationships, because, you know, once you realize yourself at such a level of freedom, then I find that I have to redo all of the different, how I look at the relationships. And last year I became open to that again, but it's such an incredibly free relationship. So
nice.
It's on and off. Yeah, it is this
you give me hope, not hope, you give me.
Yeah. Well, because for a while it was this kind of, because, you know, when you go through those deep transformations, especially those few years, I couldn't stand, you know, if someone even touched me anymore. And I thought, wow, I don't even want to sleep with anyone in the same bed. I don't want to have sex with anyone, you know, because when that masculine and feminine are integrating within you, you don't want anyone else. And that was just perfect. And at that time I was wondering, like, oh, am I ever going to even want to have with someone? But then it just happened, you know, because all of a sudden I realized, wow, you know, I am a very sensual woman, a person, and I do like to play, but I had to come to a place where I had to be that free to not want that kind of not to add stories to it. You know how, like, when people meet someone, let's say, you meet someone, and then straight away, even your friends,
Yes.
or your friends or your family, or even in your head. In the old days, it would be, oh, the story, you know, oh, what is going to happen? Are we going to stay together forever? Is he going to propose and we're going to get engaged and get married and fall in love? So that's the old way. But now I'm finding that I don't actually need no more any of this kind of story. It's like, okay, we meet, and at the moment we're good, and this week we're good, and maybe next week we won't need to meet because, okay, he goes on some job that is far away.
In a free relationship, as you say. You are in a free relationship.
Really, and it doesn't mean, oh, we will one day so madly fall in love and then we'll get married. It's those kind of stories are gone. And
live day by day.
That's right,
day for the next day. I don't want permanent things now from now and then.
No.
But I'm glad for you because I didn't know. So thank you for you told me.
Yeah.
Good. For me, it's a little difficult because.
But there is a trick, Maria. There is a trick with this. Don't pick someone who is going in the depth of transformation, because then there is trouble. Either pick someone who hasn't transformed, who is just a happy, normal person.
I think so. The most of my sober friends. The most of my sober friends, they have challenges, so many challenges, but I support them, not as a partnership, but
for me, pick them after they've transformed. That's right. So either a happy, normal person who hasn't gone into awakening. Once they go into awakening, is just trouble.
Who has his path and I have my path. But you see, sometimes you cannot discuss with someone who doesn't understand you. And our Sobra, we are very difficult people, you see. Very difficult, very... I don't know. I'm trying to find the word, but when I speak with other people from outside of Sobra, we cannot have a real connection. With my friend Sobra, we have very good connection, but I don't want a partner to be so attached to me for every day, to be every day together. I tell you something, because I cannot sleep with someone at the same room. How to sleep with someone at the same bed? When I'm sleeping, when I go to bed, I mean it, I want to sleep, nothing more. So when I travel, I'm single in my room. I choose single rooms because I cannot sleep if someone is on another bed beside me. Mm-hmm. So, because I feel the energy, and all the night I stay sleepless. You see, that's why I'm a little difficult. But maybe I find someone that accepts me as I am. Because when I'm traveling, even with a partner or a friend or my friends, girlfriends, my friends, I choose every time I choose single room, not double room. Yeah, because I need my energy when I'm sleeping.
Oh yeah, me too. Like with and for me too, like that's why I'm not, like how some Shambra they can go and do share houses and all of that. For me, I would rather stay in my space. I can't do that anymore. I did when I was younger, when I went into the world, all these things I did. Sharing, share your house and all of that. But now I can't anymore because of this and also because of freedom. But maybe, who knows, the time is coming, for change.
For me,
sorry, you go.
For me, it's not so difficult to share my house, but I don't share my room. If I have my room and I can be isolated some hours by myself, it's okay. My room is for bedroom, so I can share with some Sobra, not others. Not others, only Sobra.
It takes a while,
but not my space.
For me, I've sort of always my journey has been a little bit different in this way, that I've always had parallel. So I've always had very, let's say, spiritual, if we use that word, because there's not any better. But I also always was very involved. Like there were only maybe 3 years where, for example, I didn't have a job or something like that. I always was involved in a community. So I had to, and for a couple of years after that 3 years on my own, really, when I didn't do anything, it took 2 years for me to then get back into community happily, because initially it was so hard, because I sort of would go in bush, the forest, and by myself, like sometimes for hours I wouldn't meet anyone, and stuff like that. And so you have that space where you don't feel another human being. And it was funny because, like here in Australia, you can maybe sometimes drive on the road where maybe you see someone 3 kilometers behind you. And when I saw someone 3 kilometers behind me in a car, I was like, get out of here. You're in my space. You're too close.
It's not big space. No, it's not so big.
It's like, get out. 5 kilometers, but this is just funny stories.
And
but
now you are back. Now you are back in communities.
Now I'm back in communities because I've learned I had to, but it was bloody hard. And I've learned I didn't want to be not limited. What I perceived that, okay, so I want to be able to do all of these different things. And yet, within a small group, you can't do all of it. And especially because a lot of people, let's say, if you look at Shambra, they're going through all of their transformations. So they firstly want to be alone, or they're going through, what it's like. You keep dying to self and through all of these upheavals and stuff. So you can't really be form many times this kind of closeness because they want their space. So I thought, okay, so I need to be able to be very good in a normal, and I found the way. It's not something that I can be, like you said, that we have to go to the depths of things, because now I have people with whom I go to the depths of things. I'm okay on my own, and then I can, in a very free way, also now form relationships with people who are just in a normal. They're not even yet in awakening or anything. Very easy going. So it's just, it had to come like, okay, so this is so it's not like expecting everyone to fill in every role, so, and this is working. No
one has all the aspects. Aspects. Light, some aspects are gray, some aspects are dark, but we accept all, you see.
But Maria, what's happened? It's opened a whole world for me. There are many men out there.
Yes, I'm not looking for, if I met someone on my way, on my path, it's okay, but I'm not looking anymore. Who knows, maybe next year I start looking. For now, I'm okay. I have other things to do.
Exactly, because it's all these different stages of life.
Something?
Yes,
Can
go.
I take something spicy?
Yes, tell me spicy. We like spicy. You tell me something spicy. I tell you something spicy.
Yeah, I tell you something spicy. Last week I received a message a message not in Messenger, in Instagram. And it was a good-looking man, doctor, about 50 years old. And he asked me, I saw your picture and I like you. Until here, it's okay. After he asked me, can I be your sugar daddy? Because I can provide you financial support every month and blah, blah. I didn't know this word. What is sugar daddy? I don't know. He's like a lawyer. He will give me money. Why he wants to give me money every month? So I Googled this word, and I found that this sugar daddy is someone who gives you money, and you can do anything he wants. You go to the places he wants. You go to travel with him. Something like escort. I say this word. So I was amazed, and I thought to myself, I'm older 15 years than him, and he will be my sugar daddy. And after I ignore this. But at the same time, I remember Tobias words in SES because I know by heart all the channels of Tobias. And Tobias said in a point, first, they will sugarcoating you, and after, they will lick you from the top to the bottom. So sugarcoating and sugar daddy is the same. So I told to myself, answer or not answer. So I answered him after 3 days. I don't need, no, thank you for your offer, but I'm an architect and I can support myself financially. I don't need anyone and anything outside of myself. And also your proposal is full of rules, restrictions, and without freedom. Why even think to choose it? Anyway, have a great day and great week. Bye-bye, my friends.
Well,
this virus and this sugarcoating is so prevalent in all the stages of relationships in this time. And I see it everywhere. You see in my friends' relationship, in my friends' marriage, between friends, girlfriends, you see everywhere. So this is a little bit stopping me, but it's okay. Someday I will open again to look for a relationship. No, I'm not looking for.
Or not, you know, or not.
But I'm not looking for, as I said before, I would like to find someone, something like that.
Yeah.
But you are lucky if you have this free relationship. You give me hope that there is impossible. It is possible.
It is possible, but in a very free way. And me too. I have to kind of really, be clear. It's that clarity. But I've learned how to move in this kind of world. You know, it does need some kind of finesse and art. It's like a dance to move. And I need to then also find a way to really clear myself quickly, you know, like after I go and I come back and I clear myself quickly. But it's a very playful and not a serious, and also when it's not expectation.
Joy, not serious.
Yeah.
Serious. Oh, I'm boring of it.
No.
Serious. Most of Sobra friends are so serious.
Yeah.
And I tell them, laugh, don't be so serious. It's okay. We are in a path. We have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's so serious.
But I mean, it is hard to enjoy when you're still in that deep transformation. You know, it is hard to enjoy and not be serious, because you go through that valley of the shadow and the valley of death, and you go and face all of those deepest parts of yourself, and you die to yourself.
It was very, very, very challenging. Yes.
Yeah.
But I found some parts of myself very deep inside that I didn't know before. So I'm accepting all my parts, all my aspects, and I am about to live again to the fullest. I'm not in this stage still, but I will do it. Without force, I will let it unfold. You see,
and without the rules.
By day, I will be open again. I will live again. And I will travel again. This summer not normally, definitely I will travel, of course.
You know, going back to what you said with those, you know, how you get all of those friend requests, because they're the I get a lot of scamming, you know, how they do send you this doctor or US Army or someone like that.
US Army is my favorite.
When you're a public, like, you know, and I get quite a few, and I just kind of have to clean them out and delete them. But I just started having fun with them in this way. So I've a couple of them I send back, because I think it's the same people that send these, you know, all the time. It's like a bot, these fake accounts. And I send them, I say to them, excuse me, guys, you have to send me more prettier guys. I do not attractive. You know, I just kind of now have fun.
Yeah, you are right. But I see them through the eyes of compassion, because they are in the US Army, they are alone, they have hard lives. So I see them with a lot of compassion, and they understand, and I understand that they need a connection, they need a discussion, they need someone
but they are these fake accounts. They are not actually real army people. They're the fake. I'm talking about not the real army people. These are the ones that try to scam. So they just steal. They steal the picture, create a fake account, and then yeah.
I'm not so much involved with this, but I see them as people. I see them with compassion. I feel they
in a nice
that
way.
They want to connect. They want to speak.
Oh yeah.
Yes, this is they are away from their house, but I don't answer. I don't answer the most of the time.
No, because they're not real. They're not real. Yeah. You can feel when they're real, and you can feel when it's a fake account, because you know, like they even speak with a different kind of accent.
Yes.
But the ones, I'm not talking about the real people in the army. So these ones, I'm talking about those fake account.
Yes.
So for them also, it's important to have compassion, because you know they're trying to earn money in this way. But still, I'm instead of I used to be angry, you know, like this is what I think is like how you transform your day, because whatever happens, instead of being angry with them, I sort of make it into a light humor, you know.
Don't even go that. I'm angry with other things. My anger last days, and the thing is that I believe that all the humans, sober or non-sober or the other parts, they need connection, and they need love, and they need to be acknowledged. You see someone to acknowledge them, their life, their story, and their actions. And the most of the people, they didn't have their lives, all these things. So this is my point. So when I speak with someone, first I see him or her like a human with a big story that needs to acknowledge all his story, even if it is dark, if it is difficult, or if it is a victim or an abuser. So after 10 years with SES, I have seen the world different, upside down. This is...
I mean, you would have...
Any other funny stories to say, yes.
You would have seen so many like transformations of people, you know, because you see, you meet them when they first go into that course, and then you would like probably watch or observe how they've changed over the few years.
They changed upside down, and I'm very grateful to myself and to Crimson Circle, because myself brought me to Crimson Circle, because these two seminars, Aspectology and SES, are so important and essential for every person. I'm not doing an advertising here, but for me it was transformational. And for my friends, we have a better friendship now after these seminars. And after these all the workshops, I met very, very good and kind-hearted people. And we have a friendship until today. And this Crimson Circle knowledge, and Adamus and Tobias, who Tobias is my beloved teacher, and they opened to me a whole new world and a whole new life. And it was something that I expected all my life. And now I feel that I had commitment from the Atlantean times with Tobias. I were there with Tobias. I remain in Atlantis. I didn't left. I remain with Tobias. So I have the commitment to change this planet. That's why I'm really sad to see all this happening. But at the same time, I am happy because something is shaking up at last. Something is shaking up. And I have the commitment to bring not only me, with other people, the change in this planet, to bring joy, to bring happiness, from the pain to go to the joy, you see. from the victimhood to go to the creatorship. And this is my job, to be, we say, a people bridger. This is my job.
And also a bridge between the victim and the master, isn't it? I mean, not the bridge to connect, but that pathway. The pathway, you know,
yes.
The path to go from here to there, because it is like such a, it is the most monumental path, really. There is nothing else that you can do on earth. Like, I think this is why we've created Earth, is to experience that from a victim to master, because once you experience that, there is then it's just, you know, the world is your oyster, because you can do anything, or because everything has transformed, and you are free. But before, you are victim.
Yes, freedom.
Yeah,
from the slavery to freedom.
That's right.
From the victim to creator. Freedom is my first word, above love. From me, freedom is above love, because if you don't have freedom, you don't have love. If you don't have freedom, you cannot love anyone, even yourself. And it's vice versa. If you don't love yourself, you don't have freedom. One enhances the other. Love and freedom are my favorite and my beloved words. Love and freedom. This. And compassion in the middle. And compassion in the middle.
Exactly, yeah, because it's like that juice in between that ties it all together, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then would you like to sort of maybe speak also about, like, how do you know, because in today's world, well, any world, but today, like, there is such a difference between people that are free, and how you can actually explore and experience this kind of incredible freedom for yourself, when other people are so caught with their aspects, with all, you know, with their victimhood within the countries.
It's okay. I don't have so many things to say, because the most of the things I feel inside, but what to say? I don't have any other thing to say to you, anything else. I stay to my last words, love, freedom, and compassion. These three words for me to close. Yes.
Okay. So that's the most, well, basically that's it, isn't it? And after is a joy.
And after, of course, the joy. And after is the joy. The joy is the child of three words. Love, compassion, and freedom. And after is the joy. And after is free to go.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And we dance and we enjoy and
we dance, enjoy our lives. We don't have anything else to do here all these years after today. We don't have any other things to do. For me, I don't have anything to do. I have done the most of the things.
And
work, I have work. I had children. I had marriage. I had professions. I had seminars, travel, everything. I am completely the cycle. So I'm a blank page.
And now you have joy to either participate or not, and now it's that exploration of the new. And I think this is a little bit for all of us, isn't it? Because we've been so involved with all these things, and now it's like, okay, so what's next? But it's kind of very expecting, there's that kind of feel of expectations.
Expectation, expectation of joy.
And what we can experience. And what we can experience, and how far we can actually take that freedom, you know, with the new energy, playing with the new energy, how that's going to affect the world, because all of the things that we've experienced, how much they've affected the world, you know, it's been quite incredible, hasn't it?
Gosh. Yes.
What a journey. And so I think, we've come to the end of our show. Maria, it's been wonderful to listen to your wisdom, to your experiences and to your journey. It's so rich, and I do hope that you do one day write those master's memoirs, because I think,
master's memoirs, we'll see. Alexis, it's an idea. But for now, I don't want to have any obligation.
No. It has to
Any
kind of
obligation to myself. Even my houses and my apartments I gave to my children to run the rents and everything. So my son came from abroad and he will stay here permanently. So I'm free now and I feel so much supporting from my children. So they told me, Mama, go everywhere, start traveling. We are here for you. We will take all the burdens from you and we'll start our journey. So I'm free of everything, from occupations, from properties, from jobs. So.
And you deserve it. You deserve it.
I'm living freedom. I'm living in the freedom.
And after such a well-lived life, you truly deserve all of these gifts that you've given to yourself, like to experience this richness of the world.
We deserve everything. We deserve everything, because even if we are existing in this planet, we deserve everything, because it's so difficult to decide to come again here in this density. For me, it's my last lifetime, of course, for many others. But every person that is now existing in the planet deserves a knowledge and respect and honor for me. And I do it with all. If I see someone that is a shepherd in my village house, if it is the ex-king, they live at the same mountain. Here is the house of the king, and here is the house of the shepherd. It's the same for me. They have my respect and my acknowledgement.
Yeah, because once you realize who you really are, those kind of differences make no sense, do they? Like, someone hierarchies. And I mean, you can play hierarchies in a way that, okay, if you drive a car, there are rules on the road. There have to be rules, that's a different thing. Yeah, but but this person is more important. And that's why we can't really, we're so separated from the everyday of people, isn't it? Because they still live in those kind of hierarchies. But I find that I was going to mention that before, like how, like now we've created this world that we can really experience, because we've transformed everything. I find, like we've transformed how things work. We've transformed how, especially like, especially in our areas where we move, that we can actually fit in somehow into those spaces. Yeah. Like, for example, let's say 20, 30 years ago, because the rules were so much thicker and stronger, there was no space to move. But now, even though there are other people can still be stuck in those rules and live in that kind of world, I find there is space around them, so you can kind of we can move, like we're not stuck.
Something is changing, not changing, shaking, you see.
That's it. Yeah,
I'm laughing with this hierarchies, as you said, because at my village house there are 3 houses of our ex-king of Greece. So one day I saw him. I didn't recognize him. It was a man inside the pharmacy, and I entered very hurry, and I told to the guy, "Oh, please, can you give me these pills, because I'm in hurry. I have parking outside." And he gave me a glance, and he told me, "Okay, if you want to go first, please go first." And it was the ex-king. And I told him, "Oh, no, thank you. I don't want to take your line." And it was like to speak to someone next to me, to some friend. I didn't say, "Oh, Your Majesty, oh, hi, how are you?" Or, "Sorry, Your Majesty." Okay, no problem. I will wait. You see, something like that. I'm sorry. I love with these hierarchies, and not only social hierarchies, in spiritual hierarchies, and in financial, and in everywhere. There are levels. But for me, all the people,
the same.
They have the same respect from me. same.
At the same
At the same.
eye level, isn't it? It's like that egalitarianism, isn't it? That egalitarian is in our blood, isn't it? Like, and it's funny to walk into, you know, when you walk into, let's say, perhaps there are a few people and you walk into that, and maybe they're very strong hierarchical, those kind of energies are so strong, and it's like, I'm like, oh my God, you know, and they try to make you, like, I find myself all of a sudden thinking, oh, I should be hierarchical, you know, but we're those kind of system busters, energy system busters, that we feel that energy. And for me, straight away, I have to remember, no, I am a master, I am equal, and I look at you as equal, not low.
We are equals. We are not the same,
right.
but we are equals.
Exactly. And we kind of have to bounce through those energies. I mean, it's not anymore like that we have to use that sword, you know, through the energies. But it's just actually saying no, you know, when those patterns kind of come in. No, exactly. Yeah. So, but you
enough
have to,
enough.
Enough is enough. And then it's okay. Like, the people kind of all of a sudden, they like see there's something different about you, but soon they start to realize, because they realize that you're also giving them that respect and kindness and love. And
if you are straight,
straight, and they just enjoy that. Yeah. So we bring like these kind of different qualities, even though we break their energy patterns because we don't obey the rules that they play by within those energy patterns. We don't obey the
rules Tobias said that. These rules are not for you.
No.
These rules are not for me.
No, not anymore. It's an interesting life, and thank you, dear Maria. It's been wonderful to have a conversation with you. And for everyone who's watching, yes, this video is going to be available on YouTube, so you can watch it later.
YouTube. Oh, I think it was not so spicy and so.
No, it wasn't spicy. A little bit outrageous, but we do like a little bit of spice as well. Thank you, dear Maria. It's been wonderful.
Spicy masters.
If people have no idea, you know, like people, especially like when you talk like this, people think they know you, but I was just telling some people we're very naughty, very naughty. A lot of things is not for public knowledge.
We'll speak about this privately in another chat with you. We'll have a discussion.
Very much, and it's just so much fun. Dear Maria, thank you, and namaste.
Thank you, all the friends who listen to us. Forgive me for my English, it's not my native language. I did my best to pleasant you with my
It was
language.
Beautiful. You were beautiful.
Everything,
all is well, and was beautiful. And thank you, dear Maria. Until next time.
Bye-bye.